Okay, hi everyone. My name is Kirsten Cessna and I'm on the Student Journal Committee, and we would love to have you get involved with us. So I'm going to share my screen. Can everyone see this slide? Great.
Yes.
Yep.
So we are the Student Journal Committee. We're a group of student volunteers from SIS collaborating with faculty and staff to create a journal that will be hosted on the Digital Commons site, which has a lot of open source information and scholarship from Wayne State libraries. The reason why we wanted to start this journal is because we were looking around and seeing what great work everyone is doing in their classes. And we really wanted to showcase that work from our fellow students and from recent alumni, and also to just nurture and encourage both students who are going through the publication process on the author side and students who want to get involved from the journal side of things, and encourage like publishing research papers and literature reviews, and also behind the scenes of how a journal works and how it's run. Just a few reasons to get involved. I would say that the number one is it's a lot of fun, but here's some more concrete things. You can showcase your research and have the potential to get legitimate publication credit before graduation, which is great for your resume and CV and for learning new things in the profession. You could gain experience in academic editing and publishing, and also collaboration and networking with other SIS students, faculty, and staff. I know that a lot of what we do is online, and it's great to be able to kind of get out of the class environment and meet other people who are in the program and collaborate with faculty and staff as well. If you're interested in getting involved, there's no experience necessary. I just want to stress that you don't have to have any experience with academic publishing, and we also welcome those who are new to SIS and new to their programs. All students are welcome and encouraged to join. If you're interested in getting involved with being on the journal committee, you can contact Kim Schroeder for more information. We do a lot of our work through a team site, so she can send you an invitation to join that team site. If you are not interested in this time at being on the committee, but this sounds like something that you might want to do in the future, also keep an eye out on your SIS email for future calls for papers, calls for reviewers for those papers, and we're going to have a contest to name the journal. So that's one fun thing that we have coming up. And that is it. Selena, I'm not sure, are we doing Q&As at the end or at the end of each organization?
Yeah, so I think it might work best if we all just present and then do a Q&A at the end to see. So.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much, Kirsten. Who would like to go next? Okay, Megan, go ahead.
Yeah, perfect. I can take it away. Hello, everyone. My name is Megan Hackala, and I am currently the president of Wayne State's chapter of the American Library Association. Grace and Kirsten are also both on the e-board at this time. So just proof, you can kind of put your hand in multiple student organizations even and still have a nice balance with classwork. So they're examples of living the dream. Kudos to you both. I will also share my screen because I created a little PowerPoint as well. All right. And is everyone seeing this?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So as I mentioned, currently on the e-board for the American Library Association's Wayne State chapter. We are recognized by the National American Library Association, as are many academic chapters of this organization throughout the country. All right. What is ALA at Wayne State? As I just mentioned, we are the officially recognized Wayne State affiliate chapter. Our chapter was originally started in 1988. It's gone through a couple of different iterations at Wayne State over the course of its history. This most recent iteration started back up in 2018. And the mission statement that we have listed right here is directly from the SIS website, where it lists all of our lovely student organizations. So, like many of the organizations here, kind of increasing awareness and use of resources in its national sister organization, as well as just kind of trying to bring our students together and network while they're here in this program. How can people join ALA at Wayne State? Contrary to maybe popular belief, this was the belief that I had before I joined ALA at Wayne State. You do not need to be a paid member of the National ALA or its sister, depending on where you live, its sister Library Association chapter. Highly encouraged, and definitely has its own slew of benefits to be a student member, and you do get a student discount to be a member of both ALA and the Michigan Library Association, or again, whatever state you are residing in. The student membership for the joint program is $44 a year. However, if you are just interested in seeing what ALA at Wayne State is about, you can attend any meetings, join in on any activities. No prereqs required to join the party. So we would love to have anyone and everyone there. And as Selena mentioned a little while ago, we have our very first meeting immediately after this one, if anyone is interested in joining. If you're unable to join tonight, or if meetings or events just aren't really jiving with your schedule, you can always keep up with us on Microsoft Teams. You're still welcome to join the group just to see what's going on, and if there's ever anything that you are able to or would like to be involved in. We also have many social media pages, a WordPress website, and our profile on the DOSO, the Dean of Student Organizations website as well. So many ways to keep up. And then this slide just kind of talks about a brief short list of the things that we did last year. We are at this point, we've had one in-person volunteering activity, and as this school year continues, we would love to have more and more in-person opportunities to get together. But for people who live farther away too, except for that one activity, all of our get-togethers and guest speaker themed meetings were virtual. So we did virtual book clubs, movie nights, did have a list of virtual volunteer activities that people could get involved in. So yeah, just all kinds of fun things. And we would love to, if you have other ideas beyond this short list, we'd love to have you attend a meeting or send us a message and share other great ideas that we can get involved in and participate in as a group. And even have cross SIS organization activities too, which we did one over the summer, and that was really fun with FLID. Shout out. Yeah. As mentioned, the very first member meeting of this school year will be right after this. So you can continue on with us, kind of cha-cha back over to Microsoft Teams, because that's where our meeting will be. But great talking with all of you. And if you have any questions, we can definitely add into the Q&A at the end of this. All right.
Okay, thanks for that presentation, Megan. And really quick, a question did come in the chat that I can answer really quickly. But this Megan said they live in Canada, and so they were wondering if they can join the ALA group. And I'm just going to say yes, because a lot of the events are online. So it's pretty much you can just tune in whenever. And that is the same for, I'm pretty sure, each of these student organizations is you can collaborate with them online. Because not only because of the pandemic, but because we are an online program by nature, I think a lot of the student orgs just kind of adopted to that format really quickly and have stayed there for the past year. So yeah, I just wanted to get that answer really quick out of the way. Would NSDA or SAA want to go next, or I could go ahead and present for FLID? It does not matter to me.
I'll go
Okay,
for,
thank you,
for,
Robert.
for NDSA. So hello, my name is Robert Browning. I'm the president of the NDSA, which stands for the National Digital Stewardship Alliance. We are the first student chapter for this organization, and it focuses on all things digital preservation and practices and standards. We're pretty much a pretty project-based, you could say. For example, the last year we've been working on building a website to help people learn how to save their digital materials and present it in like a way that is not overwhelming, and so it's approachable, but still kind of follows digital preservation practices. It should be live next month, hopefully. We're also at the moment, yes, Grace, fingers crossed. So at the moment too, we're also kind of racing to finishing up preparing for a conference, which will happen in November, early November. And I guess a couple other things to know about like what's coming up that might interest students would be, you should know that we'll be having like elections next month. So there will be some opportunities to become an officer. We have, I think, 3 positions open. And I think after the conference, we will be start talking about developing a new project. And I believe Eric is throwing in our contact information. So that's what we got going on. So we're kind of like on the down low, I guess, but we're pretty busy actually.
Thanks so much for sharing, Robert. And also, I just want to elaborate what Kim said in the chat, and thank you and Eric for being here when you have that conference coming up and just taking your time. So thank you. Would SAA want to go, or do you want to finish? Okay, I guess I will finish this out after SAA. So go ahead.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Eric Morgell, and I'm the current president of the Society of American Archivists at Wayne. So we're also a pretty low-key organization. We're here to inspire like future archivists, as well as just people who are interested in the archival field, to get together and network and really learn more about the field while they're still in school. So as opposed to NDSA, we're not super project-based. We're, again, more about networking or doing events that are like watching maybe like some speakers or movies about archival practice, as well as just talking with each other and getting ideas for like how to apply for jobs or how to like ace that interview, I guess. We have a whole slew coming up for October, which is Archives Month. So Grace is our social media person for SAA. So she'll be releasing a bunch of advertisements about different events that we're doing throughout October. So I would keep your eyes open for that on our social media channels. Our meetings are through Zoom as opposed to like through Microsoft Teams, but we use Microsoft Teams as our I guess landing point. So like NDSA, that's all of our conversations are there. We post all of our minutes, and as well as our recordings to meetings are there. So if in case you can't come to a meeting in person or online in real time, you can watch it later. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely check us out. We're pretty fun, pretty like low commitment, and it's just a good time.
Cool. Thanks, Eric. Sounds like a good time. Okay, so the student group that my name's Selena Aguilera, by the way, and I'm the president of the Future Librarians for Inclusivity and Diversity. And I do have a little PowerPoint, so I will share my screen really quick. Okay, can everybody see that one? Hold on. Okay. Is that good? Okay, cool. Do do do. So, Future Librarians for Inclusivity and Diversity is kind of similar to how Megan was describing ALA, where it's gone through many different stages since its beginning, and we recently just picked up again last year. So this is our mission statement. We really just aim to provide like a community of members where we're really committed to learning about the experience of the historically excluded people, or some we often call it underrepresented people within the LAS profession. So a lot of our events are based on highlighting underrepresented voices and just trying to understand that experience. We're also trying to do more inclusive programming. Like I'll just go to the events we host. Like we did collaborate with Kim Schroeder, who's here, to create a mentorship that is specifically for underrepresented students. And we try to match them with a person in the profession right now who shares an identity or perspective that they have, just to have somebody to connect with who understands their experience a little bit better. Apart from that, some of the events we host is we host speakers, we host watch parties, we've done an online resource exploration, we did like an archive exploration together online, and then we do collaboration events. As Megan said, we collaborated with them over the summer, and we are always looking to collaborate with any other SIS organization who's interested. I think it's really fun when they all get together when we all get together. And as Megan shouted out, Grace here is like a part of every single student organization, and she always has great things to say about everyone. So you can pick and choose whenever you want to go to any of our meetings. I think we are very low key too. You don't have to make a huge time commitment for us. We do meet every third Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. and you can just hop in whenever you feel like it, and don't feel obligated to make every meeting. So, how to get involved with us is there. I said it already, but you can join us every third Wednesday at 7. We do have a Twitter, and we have an Instagram, a Facebook, and a Teams group. The Teams group is where, like a lot of the orgs said, we just collaborate and talk with each other a lot. I do also try to encourage people to post different events that are happening that are related to our mission. So if there's like different webinars that are happening that Wayne State is highlighting, or different job positions that might be specifically for people of underrepresented identities, or funding opportunities like the American Library Association Spectrum Scholarship, any information like that, we try and post in our Teams group to keep everybody updated on the resources that are out there. So yeah, that is pretty much FLID. And let me stop sharing my screen, and then we can do a short, I'm like confused. Where's everything? Sorry, I can't. Okay. So here we go. So we can do a Q&A. If anybody has any questions, you can either drop them in the chat or just say them out loud. You can raise your hand. You could also just ask about what the experience is like in these orgs. I see a few people who have already attended some meetings and who are a part of different orgs here already. So if you just want to ask about the general experience, that's cool too. So I will just leave the floor open for any questions that may come up.
If I could just put my career advising hat on, I just want to really encourage you to be involved in the student groups. I mean, many of you that are online here are already, but for those of you that are exploring, it really helps to build your resume, and it helps you to network, and it, most importantly, it helps you to better decide what you're really going to enjoy and which way you want to take these degrees. And so that's really important. You don't want to move across the country for a job and then realize, hey, I really don't want to do this type of work. I wanted to do something else. So, you know, just that's part of the natural exploration in grad school. So I really encourage you, you know, to attend. You don't have to dedicate a lot of time. You don't have to do project work. You can just sit in and listen and learn a little something that's outside the classroom.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, Kim. We do have a question in the chat. Are meetings recorded? I'll speak on FLID first, and then other groups if you want to chime in about what your group does. For FLID, we definitely want to record meetings that are like if a guest speaker comes. I don't think we'll record meetings that are like if we have a casual meet and greet or like a study group session if it's at the end of the semester for a low stakes type of get together. But we also will always ask everybody if it's okay, and if somebody's not comfortable with it, I don't think we'll record that one, but we'll try to record any of the really like I said, like the guest speaker ones and things like that.
Yeah, I can second Selena on that answer. That's essentially ALA's MO as well. If it's almost like a TED Talk or something, if we think it's something that it would be beneficial to have recorded and people might want to watch after the fact who didn't attend the meeting, like guest speakers or anything special, as long as everyone's cool with recording that, we will record those meetings and save them. Both on our Teams page, and then we do have kind of an archive at this point on Canvas, which is where ALA was living pre-moving to Microsoft Teams during COVID. But yeah, so long story short, special meetings definitely recorded.
And yeah, SIA, I thought I had mentioned it, but just to double check, yeah, we record all of our general meetings as well. I mean, we have speakers usually during the general meetings, or if we have a speaker, it's typically then it's not like an auxiliary event. But even if it were, we would still record it just for later viewing. We don't really record officer meetings because that's like, no, I mean, it's not as interesting as the general meetings, but yeah.
I actually have a question for NDSA. I might have missed it. But so because you guys are collaborating like on these projects, is it just like you mostly collaborate through Teams, or do you all get on and like screen share with each other and kind of go that route, or do you just do it on the Teams group?
I'd say primarily on Teams. You know, sometimes if it's urgent or if like it's something that's kind of naughty, we might, meet up, a few people might meet up and talk it out.
Does anybody else have any questions?
This isn't really a question, but I just wanted to second what Kim was saying about the value of these groups. One interesting aspect to what we do is that it's very network driven. So a lot of specialties within our field have their own associations. So it's good to get to know them, even if they're not one of the 5 represented here. A lot of them have a mission to recruit students into their folds, and there's a whole range of possibilities, which you might remember from an early class in the curriculum. I mean, MLA stands for Michigan Library Association, but it also stands for Medical Library Association, Music Library Association, and that's just MLA. There are many more beyond that. So it's a good way to get to know people from the beginning of your career. Get to know people who want to bring you into their profession. So they're often happy to talk about what they do, give you pointers, read your resumes and things like that. So there are really valuable networking opportunities in the ones represented in this tonight, but also beyond. Also in the past, I'm told, at this institution, we would occasionally have student reps who would receive some support from SIS for attending an in-person conference for one of these organizations. Matt goes on the road, for instance, to recruit at ALA. I've done that for many years with other institutions, and it can be a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work too. So having some help at the exhibit is extremely useful. And some institutions like ours and a couple of my former institutions would help with paying the student travel and hotel, for instance. So there might be opportunities like that down the road, especially if things open up again. It's hard to know when that will happen. And I say that because right this week, I'm in the middle of a national conference. Actually, we have some international guests too for library educators. It was going to be in Milwaukee. It's been in Chicago, Boston, San Antonio, all over the country. But now it's virtual. So there's no physical conference to go to, but the norm has been physical in terms of all of these meetings. So I've been to SAA, Special Libraries Association, ALA. They are really, really good meetings to go to, and they're not insignificant. If you haven't been to an ALA, you might be surprised to know that a large ALA conference would bring 25,000 librarians to the same big city. That's a lot of librarians. You can spot them on the street too, little groups of librarians walking around, but it's really exciting. There are endless roundtables. There are special groups for newcomers, all different kinds of social groups that focus on a social aspect of the field, for instance. So there are a lot of ways of looking at our field through the lens of these associations. And once the world opens up a little bit more, I think there will be opportunities for us all to go to these in-person meetings. And I hope that some of you are around long enough to take advantage of that while still a student, because the student rates are usually really cheap, much more affordable. And if you can find a way to represent the school in recruiting, then you might have part of your way paid.
I have a question for SAA. I'm probably mostly interested in the panels or the speakers that you have. Do you have examples of who might be speaking this semester or who you've had in previous semesters?
Yeah, so in last year, we had been kind of inactive for a while, so we spent the last year kind of rebuilding the group. This upcoming year, like next month, for Archives Month, we have a speaker lined up for Monday, October 11th from like 6 to 7:30, who's the archivist at the Detroit Sound Conservancy, and she's also the archivist, or I don't know if she's the sole or one of a team, but she works at the Wright Museum in Detroit as well. So she'll be talking about both of those. And then we also have a panel at the end of the month with archivists from the Ruther, which is Wayne's archive.
And also, if I could just chime in, Eric, like
Oh,
Kim, Kim will also be doing an event, a job-related event for us that we're grateful for, and I will also be giving a talk about an independent oral history project that I've been working on all year, on and off, about the COVID lockdowns and the COVID lockdown in Wuhan in early 2020. So basically with Archives Month, we have like an event every week going on.
Yeah, and then I was going to actually say to like kind of parrot Dr. Walker and Kim. So I know like we didn't mention it, I don't know if we mentioned it for NDSA, but NDSA, we also record the meetings and we put them in our Microsoft Teams page. But there was a really good event that we did last March on web archiving, and it was a panel with two people who do web archiving as their careers. So really just if you don't quite know what you want to do, or you think you might have like a vague interest in that, definitely go to the NDSA page and you can watch that anytime on demand. So yeah.
I just want to chime in and also say just make sure you're on the lookout for the emails too, because I remember last year ALA hosted the guy who's like the archivist for Carhartt, right? So each group can host like a person from a different profession, and I think we all do try to provide that scope. So definitely just check like what the speaker's profession is in the emails when you see a speaker coming up. I don't know if you want to talk about that meeting, Megan, because that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, thank you for mentioning that. And yeah, sitting here thinking about the different guest speakers, I know the announcements that come through the listserv, like I'll be like, oh my gosh, this person is going to be speaking at this org's meeting. And last year ALA did have a nice smattering of guest speakers. Like we had Dean Cawthorn speak kind of this time last year. And then as Selena mentioned, and it was all kind of thanks to just talking about networking, different people that our officers had personal connections with, either through a mentorship program. That's how the archivist from Carhartt ended up speaking at one of our meetings. So just little personal connections, and someone would say, oh, I know so-and-so. So yeah, no, that particular meeting, which is recorded and on our Teams page and Canvas, I believe, for if people want to revisit that, we're actually ALA's hopefully in the works of compiling the videos of our guest speakers. So we almost have like either podcast style or something, so you can kind of peruse, and we'll have them organized by who the speaker was. So if you are interested in hearing about the archivist who works at Carhartt, which hearing what he does with the clothing, and then what the like physical archive that he helped to create and incorporate that is now over at the Carhartt business. He invited us to go take a tour of it in person. So maybe that could even be like a super group activity at some point. We haven't cashed in on that offer yet. But yeah, just a nice smattering of guest speakers. To Tom's point too, organizations that I didn't even realize were library organizations within that world. We also had a kind of law librarian and a legal specialist who is a big player in the Special Libraries Association speak at one of our meetings. And yeah, and then thanks to Grace, Billy, I'm gonna forget his name, even though his name is so fabulous. But he works. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. He gave a presentation on the art of presenting, because that is his specialty and what he is doing. So beneficial for students who are getting ready for conferences or classes. So yeah, hopefully that's in the works to kind of highlight the meetings where we've had guest speakers. So you can go back and visit those and see the amazing things that people have done with their degrees. And I guess while I'm unmiked, I'll just also say, if you're not seeing the chat right now, there's a lot of good things posted in chat. And thank you to Robert for starting the trend of mentioning when our meetings occur throughout the month. So that's helpful information too.
Yeah, I honestly just realized we all do it the same week in the same 2 days. We're just like, go, go, go. So you got to plan
Library
your student
marathon.
org week. You just got to plan those hours out really quick for your student org week. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? Oh, Tori gave us all a shout out and said, we're all amazing. Thanks for running great student orgs. And Tori's also somebody who's in multiple student orgs. So it's definitely possible to just hop in on any different type of meeting, especially after, just to reiterate that point, after Megan and Eric spoke, sometimes it's like the speaker that you want to see is just with a meeting that like with an organization that you might not attend all the time. So it's always good to just pop in and see what people are up to. So yeah, let's see. Oh, thanks, Tom. Tom put in the chat the ALA annual conference link if anybody wants to check that out.
It's going to be in DC in the summer.
Okay.
So I hope it'll be open. I've been to it when it's in DC. And I used to, at a former institution, I used to take a group of students. I think 18 was the largest number. I take them to the National Book Festival every fall. And we would visit branches of the Smithsonian Library System, branches of the Library of Congress. We'd visit Folger Shakespeare, which is just an incredible place right next to the Library of Congress. It is a library capital. It has to be seen. So maybe, I don't know, if there's some student interest in this, maybe we can figure out a way to offer a class for credit or something, maybe a 1 creditor, I don't know. But I mean, these memories stick with you for a really long time. So keep that span of time in late June open, and if you're interested in that.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Walker, for that information. That would be really cool if somehow we figured something out.
Yeah,
1 year.
there are
1 year
ways.
in the future.
I mean, we don't have a lot of money in the in the bank to to do a lot, but I think if we put our minds to it, we might be able to get a deal. I know I did this. I called around hotels and I got some group deals where we'd share rooms, and that worked out well. It kept the price down, and we chose hotels that were walkable, so we didn't have to spend a lot of money on Ubers or anything. There's a wonderful subway system there anyway, which isn't so bad. So there might be a way. It certainly would be worth the adventure.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm just like, you don't have to, you feel obligated to stay on either. If you're ready to head out, that's totally cool. I'll for sure stay on in case anybody has any questions. I think it would be cool actually if each officer maybe would be comfortable with dropping their email in the chat, or like how NSDA had their own like Wayne State email. I know FLID doesn't have that, so I'll just put my email in the chat. But yeah, if anybody wants to put their email so you can contact each other, that would be cool. I know, just so everybody's aware, as Megan said, the chat is going strong, and we do have pretty much, I think, every link to all of our Teams groups. So definitely check those out, because those are main like communication points for all of us, I'm pretty sure, is through our Teams groups.
Yeah, great idea. I just put my contact info in the chat too.
Cool, thank you all. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'll just keep hanging out. Feel free to ask any questions. Thanks everyone for coming who's leaving. We appreciate you being here and hope to see you at any of our orgs sometime soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Walker. See you later. Also, thank you, student org officer members, for showing up today and doing this. I thought it was pretty cool.
It was, yeah, this was great.
Yeah, it's good since we can't really do like a festival type thing,
Right, or like
So-
orientation. We like don't have like
Right.
an in-person orientation or anything like that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, thank you for organizing this. This was really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for coming out and have a good night. You guys don't have to feel obligated to stay either. I think everybody's pretty much heading out. So maybe give Megan a tiny breather before the ALA meeting. Oh, and Grace and Kirsten. I know you all
Yeah,
had a
ALA
meeting.
party.
Yeah.
Cool.
Megan.
Hey Megan, I'm
Yeah.
actually going to be a little bit late because some tickets are going on sale right at 8, and I am watching the number of people following it tick up from like 1,069 as I'm watching it.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
So,
Did you say what tickets are they for? John Oliver or
oh
no?
no, they're just for a book convention in DC next summer.
Oh.
So I'm actually gonna be in DC next summer, so that's fun.
For what?
Serendipity.
Or something?
It's just a book convention.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 'cause I'm a nerd, so
No. I heard the book convention part. I just thought you said you were going to be in DC in the summer anyways next year.
Oh,
So that's why.
yeah. It's in DC in July.
Cool. That sounds cool.
Sweet. Well, good luck. Yeah. Perfect. And yeah, hopefully we'll see a happy face when you're able to join the ALA meeting then.
I've got like 3 different computers up, and I'm like, 'cause it's like
Ooh, ready.
Oh,
All right. May the
that was
force be
good.
with you.
thank
Have a
you.
really good evening, everybody. Take
Thanks,
care.
Megan.
you.
Bye.
See you.